Okay, so basically, I'm maybe, it's totally crazy. I want to explain why this is. Basically, I'm maybe, and so basically, I am crying and throwing up. Okay, to understand, you have to understand that I'm super, super duper baby. And so I'm doing what I like to call peeing and pooping all over my pants.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking. I just like totally
sound like the cigar chomping villain of some kids movie.
I tell you something, kids. The orphanage is getting turned into a saloon.
Yeah.
Where they don't let the other kind of folks in.
Yeah, or country clubs. Yeah.
The Irish never in my establishment.
Oh boy. So yeah.
No, I see food and I eat it. Like I totally house like a Qdoba burrito in like 5 minutes flat.
Hell yeah. I was just at Slim Chickens, boy, getting that Nashville hot.
I have not been there. The line there is always ridiculous. And it's the kind of line I see when it's like, oh, this has to be bad.
No. It's actually like I always go in, so I've never actually gotten like takeout. It's a good experience. They got fried pickles on the menu. That's always a plus for me. They got all like 17 different kinds of dipping sauces for your tendies if you're getting tendies, and just all sorts of good stuff.
I'm a dipping guy.
Yeah, a lot of dips. They got the cayenne ranch. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff.
Fuck?
Yeah, they got some wing sauces that you can dip into. So.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I gotta fuck with that.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I was Minneapolis. Minneapolis was a good time. Of course, had to make my pilgrimage to Paisley Park.
What was it like taking a shit at Paisley Park?
It was very weird. They did have a couple of bathrooms open to the public, so I did manage to relieve myself in a bathroom formerly owned by Prince. The night before a couple nights before, we had gone to First Avenue, and I think I sent you a photo from inside this like checkered bathroom.
I think you might have, yeah.
Yeah, where it was like, I can't believe I just shat in here where Morris Day probably heated this bad boy up or something like that. But yes, so going into Paisley Park was really neat. It was a little odd. They put your phone in one of those bags, you can't take your phone out. Mm-hmm. Interesting experience, definitely kind of had to do it as a Prince fan. It was also happened to be the day that they were dedicating a section of I-5, the highway that runs right next to Paisley Park, as Prince Rogers Nelson Memorial Highway. To get to a place where you can take the sign, you have to kind of go outside of the big guard gate and down this little way. Well, there's a tunnel that connects, I think it's called Lake Ann Park, to Paisley Park. Mm-hmm. In this tunnel, all these fans had like spray painted messages and had all this like memorial stuff up there. But one thing was a QR code. And I'm like, oh, this must be some fan group. So I take my phone and pull it up, and it's a Facebook group that is a conspiracy theory group about what really happened to Prince's during Prince's death. One of his entourage or maybe a relative killed him on purpose to get the money. Yeah.
A Prince truther.
Yes, there are Prince truthers out there. Shout out to the Connecting the Purple Dots group on Facebook.
No fucking way.
It's wild. So that was
lead an armed insurrection against Prince's estate.
Yeah, and they're going to storm Paisley Park.
You got to go to Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's called Prince Reginald's Getting Closer to What Happened on 4/21/16.
God, if Prince had died on 4/20.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it would have been a hell of a thing. But yeah, the Connecting the Purple Dots is the Patreon page. I was mistaken. Yeah, someone has a Patreon page to make money off of this thing. But the rest of Minneapolis was great. We got to go to Como, which is the zoo and the conservatory. We got to go to do a place called Can Wonderland. It is a bar. It's like the platonic ideal of what a barcade would be like if the guys from a city museum made it.
Oh, okay.
It's cool. It's got these funky art installations. All the pinball machines are like at least 50 years old. They got like the Love Tester and little arm wrestling machines, like some real classics. And then they've got more modern stuff. They've got and it's $10 a person on Wednesdays. You go in there and so all the arcade games are covered by that $10, and then anything else you want to do, like mini golf or have a beer, that's extra. Food's not bad. I mean, it's a nice little. You could blow several hours in there. I think we were there for like 2 or 3 hours. Good time.
Yeah, I saw you something posted like on social media. I was like, oh, that kind of sounds neat.
It's a hoot, man. They had an improv comedy night going on there the night we were there. So we were like, oh, cool. Let's see if, the kids would like to watch some comedy. They're 13, and like the first thing this lady starts off with is like, so have you ever sucking your stepdad's dick? I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. It wasn't that literally, but it was just something like comes up on stage and just like blasts you with something vulgar. I'm like, well, that's enough for the 13
So I was at the gynecologist, and
yeah.
and he said, ma'am, you can't smoke in here. So I crossed my legs.
Hey-oh. She doesn't get enough respect. So yeah,
Gosh, I was just thinking like Rodney Dangerfield as Swingers Party.
Oh yeah.
Somebody please fuck my wife. Get no respect.
Yeah, fuck my wife, please.
You can come in there. Fuck my wife. Yeah, I don't know. You just give me like a little.
I think she would notice.
I took my wife to the swingers club, and they made her clean the tarp. No respect.
Well, I mean, one of his actual jokes was, I told my parents that I wanted to watch for Christmas, and so they let me.
Jesus Christ.
He wasn't afraid of going there, yeah.
Sent me something, while you were out in Paisley Park and dropping deuces in notable bathrooms. I spent 10 hours of my life editing that episode.
Yikes, man.
And just like it got to the point that there were certain elements, like it wasn't a bad conversation, but like, I just don't want to edit this 5 minutes because I know what this means in my life that I'm never going to get back. So I'm just going to exit this whole entire conversation about like Richard Hart or or other things. We just don't need this. The episode's it's going to be fine, folks. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, because I think what was it you cut? You cut a whole thing about the front bottoms.
I kept saying busy words like and and a certain cadence I could not cut around, and the story I was telling was not interesting enough to keep in. I was like, man, I am really just staring at my own navel here.
Yeah,
we don't.
Yeah. Once you get stuck into that inside baseball, you got to take the knife to it. I think you're right to do so.
Unless you can tell it in like 5 minutes,
sure,
and everything's a banger.
Yeah,
I just did not have that sauce in me. I did not have the Riz. But another thing you sent me was that clip. I guess there's something involving Post Malone, and it just got stuck in my head. We were talking about Post Malone being able to taste a woman's piss and tell if she's pregnant, and then I thought like, no, that's not a good enough joke. The joke would be if a woman pisses in a Bud Light. He can tell. And I'm thinking this hypothetical situation of him being like on Call Her Daddy or like Barstool Sports like podcast or something.
Yeah, that's.
And then like, well,
it was Post Malone on Call Her Daddy.
Oh, okay,
that's what it was.
Yeah, and well, how much piss? And like he doesn't know. He goes like, I don't know, like about a double. Like just because I don't think Post Malone's operating on that high level of things. Sometimes, like I mean, about like 2 shots of piss.
I think you refer to him as a dude that is a sentient dollar store pregnancy test.
Yes.
Which I have never heard a dude describe that way, but you know what? You're probably right on that one. That, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's someone that worked at a Dollar General for exactly 1 month and was like, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Something about dudes in St. John's, Missouri, just absolutely positively had to steal every single bottle of Axe body spray snake peel body wash. To the extent I was like, is it that good? And I remember when we actually had like a bottle that got stolen later that shift.
Oh God!
I remember like popping it open and sniffing it. I'm like, it's okay.
It's just all right.
It was probably like the most expensive body care thing we had, and I guess that's just why people kept stealing it.
I guess.
Yeah.
So we missed a lot because we were away. I think is what I was getting at because, boy, the internet went wild for this one. It was the Alabama riverboat brawl. Did you see? You see this? You hear about this?
Oh yeah. Oh, Black Aquaman.
Black Aquaman. Yeah. So it starts out.
But my understanding from a couple different places I've reported on this story was that the riverboat needed the park.
Yeah.
So that they could get the people that had been on the river off and board the new people for the next tour.
Right.
But these white folk had parked their little pontoon boat in that area.
Right.
And they couldn't fucking, they wouldn't move. They were too proud. They were too stupid. So the co-captain, who was black, tried to resolve this situation. The white folk apparently were like, saying some pretty nasty stuff, possibly some racial slurs in there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
he
you're right.
throws
When
the
he
hat.
throws that hat up, that was the bat signal.
There's Gondor calling for aid. He's
Yeah.
like,
And I mean, he holds his own.
yeah, but there's 3 guys.
There's 3 guys. I feel like the guy that came in and kind of put him like the flying armbar, I think should be disqualified.
Yeah,
that was a cheap move.
He was working the refs the whole time, though. I mean,
Yeah. That guy was going for the cheap heat in the race war.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, Alabama's the worst place I've ever been.
I got to tell you.
Everyone here, boy, the women are ugly. And
I gotta
the black
talk
folk.
I got to talk about it in wrestling terms because I just can't like conceptualize it in another way because like
Yeah, this is the way my stupid brain
fucking
works.
surreal. But yeah, the guy swam from the boat to join the action.
A healthy young man.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't do that shit. I would have just been like, someone get me a gun. I'm gonna have to start taking pot shots from here.
Well, because that was one of the other things is that not only were racial slurs used, but apparently there's alleging that the white folk said, "I'm going to go get my gun." So there was an additional level of threat there.
I mean, it's just a bunch of folk that had it coming.
Oh no, that's true.
Like,
we got some charges.
fuck around, find out.
We got Richard Roberts arrested, charged with 3rd-degree assault. We got some. I mean, he suffered bruised ribs and all that. You know,
Got a fucking beat ass.
And boy, it's 5 full minutes of video if you can find it. Scripps News has the full raw footage. But
Yeah, there's a lot of footage out there. Just white people getting their ass beat, and someone who comes from white people is like, yeah,
you love to see it.
yeah.
Those guys kind of earned that one. That's all I'm saying. Is that
I just think of like every white guy I've ever worked with that says something like really shitty, but you can't go too far with how you rebuke them. Mm-hmm. And like when you see that happen, that's just like everyone's like shitty coworker that said something.
You're kind of
it's like the spirit bomb is coming into them, and then it's just someone else cold cocking them.
Yeah, just take my energy, give it to this
Here,
guy. He
yeah,
needs
it's every guy that delivered pizzas in a Civic in 1999.
Oh boy. Well, speaking of racial animus, oh boy, the country hit.
Oh man,
Mr. Oliver Anthony.
Fuck this guy.
Richmond, north of Richmond. Song sucks, #1. So that's a
The
big.
dude's beard sucks.
Well, yeah.
It's like it is. The shape is bad.
Yeah.
and it's also too well kept for it to be believable.
Very odd. And he's got the thing that some people have where like the facial hair is lighter than the hair on his head, so it looks like he
Yeah, I mean,
dyed it. But
your
he probably
co-host is
didn't.
one of those individuals.
I was going to say he probably didn't, but there was a lot of people that were like, that looks awful suspicious. I'm like, no, that happens.
That happens with us gingers. I don't
Yeah.
claim him.
No, I wouldn't either. So the verse in question that I balked at was pointed out to us by at Liz Rummy, emoji caresser. Wonder why this clip isn't in the verse. Verse 2, I wish politicians would look out for minors, as in people who mine coal, and not just minors, underage people, on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milkin' welfare. Oh boy.
Yeah, it takes a weird turn.
Yeah, verse 3, well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground because all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Well, buddy, the people who call the obese welfare queens are the people doing the kicking of the down.
Yeah, it's really some weird Ouroboros shit going on here.
Yeah.
And if you're 5'3" and weigh 300 pounds, is probably the only people I know of that are like that are like old ranch hands in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So like guys that could probably kick your ass even though they're 5'3" and 300 pounds.
Right, because a good chunk of that is muscle from them,
And
working.
also, probably just like eating gristle all day. I don't know what people in Texas do. It's not a place I'm a fan of. They can secede.
This was pointed out to me later, was that at the MAGA Hulk, yes, a real fun MAGA account that has a blue check, obviously. Mm-hmm. I don't want to comment on this because Oliver Anthony seems like a genuinely great guy, but Matt Walsh's sanctimonious word vomit forced my hand. There was nothing authentic about this song's rise in popularity. Jason Howerton seems to be the key player involved in the AstroTurfing campaign. Jason Howerton, CEO of Reach Digital, one of the accounts heavily promoting the song. Jason indicates Oliver Anthony had been contacted to record the song. Jason also admits he even covered the cost to produce the record. So who wrote the song? And how did so many big right-wing accounts have the video ready to post simultaneously? You can like the song and like its message without gaslighting us into believing this was an authentic viral hit by a simple country man with a mic and a guitar. Launch a product, get 1.3 million hits overnight, was the article Mr. Howerton shared on LinkedIn. Yes, Conservative Inc. was the AstroTurf group behind this. Dan Bongino responding, Jason works with me. Jason's a great guy who texted last week, blown away by the emotion in Oliver's song. Jason wanted to help. He flew from California to North Carolina to help Oliver get the message out. That's what he does. This fucking moron below doesn't have a clue about what happened. Imbeciles like this fucker below are what decimate our movement. This is, Dan Bongino here. They open their big mouths about shit they have no idea about. While trying to defend it, Dan Bongino all but confirms that this was,
AstroTurf.
Yeah.
I'm somehow amazed that some of my more conservative coworkers have not gone about this song because, oh boy, I've been told that I can suck the air out of a room with just one sentence when some of my coworkers start talking politics. And I just walk in, grab what I need to grab, and leave. Like I don't even like stick around for a conversation. I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't sound like something in your own interest. I don't think Budweiser is closing that canning plant in response to the Dylan Mulvaney controversy. I bet they were planning on closing that
anyway.
Yeah. So I think that's disingenuous. Oh God. Yeah. No. Fuck that guy. Fuck his little shitty beard. Fuck his little fucking shitty song.
And what the hell? He's playing that guitar.
Richmond north of Richmond.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Well, not only that, but I mean, Richmond wasn't that the capital of the Confederacy, so there's already a dog whistle and a half right there in the title.
Perhaps. Yeah. I mean, I can see the argument for that. I just think it's a trite. I feel like saying that is almost giving it too much credit.
It's like a really bad pun. It's not, but it's not funny.
And he's playing like a $500 Korean-made Gretsch Dobro.
I was going to say, that fucking Dobro, he's playing it like he's never touched the thing before in his life. It was very odd.
We got kind of
that bad boy was clean.
Oh, yeah, it's like a brand new guitar. If he had an old, Aloha fucking Dobro or something.
Sure.
Like an old National Resonator.
You could be that was somebody's.
Maybe that's some, but the fact that it's a brand, not a mark on it guitar, also just screams AstroTurf. The microphone placed in a field, the fucking hunting blind in the background. Oh, yeah. All of it is just so fucking inauthentic that you would have to be a fucking rube to buy into it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it is saying. If you believe this to be of whole cloth, then the old saying goes, I got a bridge to fucking sell you.
Yeah. No, I mean it's the fakest thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. No. Fake news.
Well, not only that, but it's fake and it sucks. It's one thing. It's one thing if it's something that's oh, okay, it's fake. It's clearly somebody got hooked up with one of these viral content companies. But I like the song. Well, all right, I'll give it a pass.
Oh yeah, they fucking got me.
But if it's fake and it sucks,
yeah,
forget it.
And apparently this is set to be the number one song.
Yeah, that and Jason Aldean. Oh boy. Country music. Let me tell you, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked my country music a lot more when it was about shooting cops.
Yeah,
and
outlaw country.
Yeah,
I call that.
Disrespecting women, but nobly. There's a reason why Johnny Cash's "Understand Your Man's" my go-to karaoke song.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean Fist City by Loretta Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like, I'm going to beat your ass, woman. I love the I'm going to beat your ass songs. Those songs are great. Even the more modern ones are kind of annoying. Matt Basler, friend of the program, did an entire EP of, he reworked all these old I'm going to beat your ass, all these more recent I'm going to beat your ass country songs. Read Me My Rights. He did Redneck Crazy. He did some real good ones. And there's some that are still out there all right. Yeah, Read Me My Rights rips. Somebody better call the law. I'm oh yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, fucking this. Taxes are too high. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Think about fucking bootlegging or something. I don't know. Give me something. Fucking Marty Robbins. Tell me about an outlaw. Or, I don't know.
Marty Robbins was a little bit of a bootlicker, but I mean, the man could write a song.
I was gonna say, at least he could turn a fucking phrase. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like at least like his personal politics apart from.
Well, yeah, because I can't stand Toby Keith's personal politics, but every once in a while the man writes a jam, you know?
Oh, did he also write the one song? Or was that someone else?
Toby Keith was the courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, yes, sir.
God, yeah, that song also sucks dick.
Yeah, that song sucks.
That
But he's
song-
written a few other ones that are like, all right, it's pretty good.
That like fucking clean boot, pressed shirt, country music. I got
Fake ass Northerners, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I work with some guys that have like fucking Ford trucks. You can tell they've been limping along for, a decade or two.
Yeah.
And like, they make good money. They don't have to be driving a fucking beat up like 92 150 that like is like 70% rust around the rims.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't wrong.
Like, I feel like that's a little bit more authentic than the guy that buys like the brand new Dodge Ram that has like the fucking
all the running boards.
the running boards. There we go. Side mirrors that like adjust and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
like when you
yeah.
get in and out. And like, man, fuck that. Give me a pickup truck that smells like it's burning oil even when it ain't. The fucking CD player hasn't worked, and you know what? Listen, I put enough money in this son of a bitch. I ain't fixing it.
The truck bed from a completely different vehicle.
Oh. No, it got to the point.
That's my friend Sean had one of those. Yeah, I mean, it was like the front half was like a Ford and the back half was like
Oh,
like a
God.
Toyota or some shit. He just was like,
We're talking about truck times. My dad bought a truck, and the chrome on the rear bumper had gotten eaten up so much with rust. They just took the rear bumper off and took like a fucking like giant railroad tie and like painted it black.
No,
and like that's the bumper. And thankfully, like the rear signals were up on the
yeah, they were higher out there on
higher
the tail.
up on the side of the tailgate. But I was just like, man, my dad's fucking gnarly.
Oh man,
Yeah, just a gnarly ass man. The Lil Tay death hoax, yeah.
this one fucked me up, dude. Like a lot of these things, I don't know who the fuck these people are. Apparently, it's a big deal on TikTok,
On encouraging
Instagram.
minors to do bad things on the internet.
Yeah, but just like, who the fuck is this kid? So, American born, raised in Canada, YouTube, Instagram, which tends to be the way for young performers these days. She's rapping and like flexing because she's so rich and all this shit, and she's like 9. It's fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
like 9 or 10. And I think even now, like, I don't even think she's like 16.
No,
Just young and saying, just wilding out, as the kids say.
Yeah, well, so per Polygon, it says her breakout moment came in April 2018 when she and influencer Woah Vicky, again, I don't know what the fuck that is,
Yeah.
staged a fight with Bad Baby, that was the Cash Me Outside girl, at a mall. TMZ, of course, was there with cameras, which propelled Lil Tay to newfound stardom. At the time, she gained 2.4 million followers on Instagram and then appeared on Good Morning America. But then somebody said she was dead. It's
Yeah.
very weird.
Like, this, like, Lil Tay, like, everything I ever, like, knew of her was like, oh, this is, like, just mean little sister syndrome.
Yes, very much so.
And my high school girlfriend was the mean little sister of a classmate. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I know this game. I know where this train's heading. I didn't think it was going to be me being manipulated by my family and having a death hoax.
They reached out to the family. They wouldn't comment, Lil Tay, this
I'm
is
not dead.
This is
I'm smoking a Kush blunt.
Oh yeah, the Nate dog. I ain't dead. I'm smoking a big fat Kush blunt right now. Which of course is even funnier since he has since passed away. But
He ran out of Kush blunts.
yep, that were his phylactery keeping him alive.
It's like that urban myth about how Lemmy went to the doctor and the doctor told him, like, if you stop doing
drinking.
speed, you'll die.
The statement issued by Lil Tay is, my Instagram account was compromised by a third party used to spread jarring misinformation and rumors around me. Thanked Meta for helping her get her account back. It was very weird. So the deleted post is, it's with a heavy heart we share the devastating news of our beloved Claire's tragic passing, yada, yada, yada. It was very odd.
Yeah, because there's no, like, from the family or, like, from the family's lawyer or anything like that. It's just,
No.
when I saw this, I was just like, well, gosh, I feel like I need more information before I let myself have
An
any
opinion,
feelings about any deep feelings about this. Like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
And like, it also seemed like one of those things. Like, there was family members or like her older brother seemed like a piece of shit. And I'm like, man, that's sad. Like, that kid was just getting exploited. And I still think that kid's getting exploited.
Well, not only that, but I mean, the parents were in the middle of splitting up, and there was a nasty custody battle, and there was all this stuff happening, and that's why she just stopped posting for a while. I think it was like 3 or 4 years that she'd stopped posting.
Yeah.
Suddenly to have a post after this long, be like, oh yeah, she died.
Yeah. She died on the way to the fireworks factory.
That's right. On the way to her home planet. Lil Tay
died.
Every time Lil Tay's not on screen,
all the characters should be asking, where's Lil Tay?
The last bit we have, the things happening around this week. One of my favorite film directors, apparently, is looking for love. That's right. Lars von Trier posted on Instagram an extensive post, about a minute and a half or so, of him saying he's single and ready to mingle. So if you are a fan of the films of Lars von Trier...
That guy looks like he could suck the juice out of a mango.
Oh, yeah. 67 years old, he says.
Yeah.
Parkinson's, OCD, and controlled alcoholism. I think that's a translation problem. I think he means a functioning alcoholic.
Controlled alcoholism is a great phrase, though. It's like, is this like a Jurassic Park situation? As long as
he's got a team of scientists watching over him. He's like, he's drinking at noon again, sir.
He's drinking at again, sir. Yeah, the
Understood.
The Calprod is just like a wet towel to wipe him off. He's getting the meat sweats again, sir. He's just eating nothing but jerky.
Yeah, they're dabbing his forehead with Barman's friend just to keep the sick away.
Our keeper's friend.
bill.mrk.lars@gmail.com if you want to email Lars von Trier and try to be his girlfriend. 67 years old, Parkinson's, OCD, and controlled alcoholism. What a catch!
From the guy who did Antichrist.
And Melancholia, and Dancer in the Dark. 3 films that I never want to see again.
I tried watching Antichrist. It was on some streaming
That's
service.
Fine.
It has a really slow start.
Yes.
And I couldn't stick with it.
But
then I was like in the other room and like heard screaming and stuff. I'm like, oh, so it got good.
Yeah.
Because the first part was kind of like, what if you took Eyes Wide Shut and slowed it down by 50% and made it like heavily desaturated?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
there's something really interesting here, but I do not have the attention span for it, nor am I sure this is worth my attention span.
Yeah, Antichrist and Melancholia do kind of have that problem. Still, stellar performances from everybody involved. It's just they're hard to watch. They're hard to watch movies because not only for the pacing and all that, but also because of the very extreme things that happen to physical bodies in them.
Yes.
So there's just you get a little too much, I think, at a certain point. And
I've still never seen a Serbian film.
That's all right. I think
you're right, man.
Yeah,
you don't need to come to film school tomorrow for Serbian Film Day or what?
It's one of those movies where, like, if you've seen Come and See or if you've seen Salo, you're like, well, I get the idea. I get what we're going for here.
Oh, if you really want to see an upsetting film that I understand that's in a similar vein to those, there's a little European film that came out about 20 years ago called The Wild Dogs.
Oh, The Wild Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhere between like what I understand Antichrist and like Come and See or Serbian Film to Be.
Martyrs.
And also like Gummo. It's like European Gummo. Yeah. So The Wild Dogs, if you really want to be upset by a 20-year-old film that I saw at the St. Louis Film Festival with my father.
Oh, no. What did he think of the movie?
We didn't talk about it.
Oh, boy.
It was like one of those things where, like, he's just like, we left the theater and I'm like, huh, that was really interesting. He goes, yeah, you want to get something to eat?
That made me hungry.
Yeah, I was like, all this child abuse has really gotten me hungry.
It's Crypto's Capital Week time. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
Shiba. We all know Shiba.
Shiba Inu.
Yeah, all the
Meme
other
coin.
sub-coins, the bone coin and all that other
Leash.
nonsense. Yes, leash.
Oh, yeah. I was like, as I was texting you yesterday,
Yeah.
I feel like to really explain everything with Shib would be like a whole entire episode.
Right. I've picked through a couple of bits where I can kind of do a pressy. I'm going to try to do my best to kind of give as much of the picture as I can. But yes, like Brian says, it's a lot longer story than I can even fit into the segment.
It's
So we're going to try.
fucking wild.
We're going to try. So working backwards from the date of August 16th, which was when a group called Shibarium officially launched, following a lot of hype because it was part of the Ethereum Layer 2 network. Ethereum Layer 2, as I believe we explained it at a previous Crypto Scam of the Week thing, it's a new way to approach DeFi. That's about as far as I can get with it before my brain starts to sizzle in the back of my eye sockets.
Piggybacks off of the Ethereum blockchain or Matic or Polygon, where the fuck they want to call it these days. And so you're kind of doubling down on your blocks being processed per second, I believe, or transactions that can be processed per block, and so on and so forth. So, like the argument for like PulseX is that its gas fees are a fraction of Ethereum. So, like if you wanted to do like a simple transaction on Ethereum right now, it could be $30, 0.002 or 0.003 Ethereum, just to like do something simple. Like if you were sending from one wallet to another, it could be that much. Whereas on say Pulse Chain, it could be pennies.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be kind of a piggybacking utility off of a more a legacy blockchain, but also a popular blockchain, but you don't have the cost of function in that respect.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. So they're doing this as a way to kind of make it more enticing to use. It's going to be a little bit more functional, as it were. Dog theme tokens, Bone, Treat, and Leash, or the Shibarium chain. So they'd hope to use Shibarium to, and this is courtesy of Bitcoinist, which is a publication I had not heard of until today. They'd hope to use Shibarium to change Shiba Inu's outlook by portraying it as a serious project rather than being known by the meme token SHIB. According to them, SHIB tokens would be burned every time a transaction was carried out on the Layer 2 network. Of course, as you said, everybody was excited because a reduction in supply leading to a price increase. But it seems like it had the opposite effect.
They fucked up their contract or their RPC or RCPF, whatever the nodes, I believe.
Yeah.
And so you can bridge your Ethereum or your SHIB over the Shibarium, but you cannot bridge out. And I think there might even just be like a lack of function on Shibarium.
Yeah, it says the functionality has been questioned as users who tried to use the bridge reported being unable to access their funds on the new chain. As of writing, a combined total of $1.7 million or 945 ETH are stuck in the bridge. You cannot get your funds out of the bridge.
It's fucking amazing.
945 ETH. User at shroom_daddy on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. Fuck that. Posting from a chat from someone calling themselves Shaitoshi Kusama.
Shout out to Shaitoshi. He follows me on Twitter for some reason.
Hell yeah. It says, we fucked up hard. We can't recover the ETH bridged. This was 30 minutes ago. The height is changing up and down. This is not normal. It should only go up as the block number only increases. So it's like totally fucked. Someone sent me 1 to 3 bones. No way to be sure since the block scanner is fucked also. And when I try to query my balance, it says I have 0. Is the chain synced? LOL. It's not. It's fucked. First response is by Zach XBT saying, how did you mess it up that bad? Lol. And when Zach roasts you right away, you're like, well, we really fucked it, didn't we?
So there are a lot of people
Yeah.
that create projects in crypto where it's just really to make money. You got
Sure.
a good meme.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to necessarily outright rug people, but they are definitely looking at lining their own pockets.
Sure.
They're not trying to necessarily like rug people super hard, but it's really just like launch a token, let it run for a while. They take out their investment,
Right.
and then the project maybe just slowly dies over the next 6 months.
Right.
SHIB was supposed to be, from my understanding, from the deep, inside baseball web of crypto that I've sometimes dipped my toes into, was supposed to be that kind of project.
Yeah.
And early on, Ryoshi, who is the founder, and people have this mythology around him as being like some sort of financial genius, which is some amazing imagination on some of these folks here. But I mean, these are individuals I think they're also looking to line their own pockets, or they maybe are
A bit of wish casting, if you will.
Yes. So SHIB was originally supposed to be that sort of ordeal where like you launch it, there's a meme because of like Doge, and because I think Elon Musk was also talking about getting a Shiba Inu, and he got Shiba Inu, named it Floki, and now there's a Floki meme token. But anyways, back down to SHIB. Really was supposed to be one of those things that like ran for like a month to 3 months, and when it looked like a good time to get out, you start just like slowly selling your investment, and you just move on to the next
Don't
thing.
make it obvious, but get yourself
and there's
paid.
A lot of times where you can tell like a dev is selling, but he's just doing little chunks. He's taking out X amount of dollars, he's letting that liquidity come back up, and he sells again. He's not trying to kill the price of it. He's not being benevolent
trying to crease his palm with silver but not kill it outright.
Not trying to truly crash the project. Maybe still not a great thing to do, but probably the most ethical way you could fucking cash out.
That's like saying, I set my apartment building on fire, but no one else died. So
I told everyone I told everyone there was free food outside. But it's at least not the shittiest way you could do what you're doing.
That's fair.
But then SHIB kind of kept going.
Yeah,
and this is like early 2021. Early 2021. It had its first real spike. I think like around the Super Bowl, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Ryoshi got upset because he already pretty much disinvested from the project. Then he creates Leash, and so there's always just been, in the time that I've had my eye on SHIB, has always been kind of a reluctant project. I've never taken it seriously, other than that these guys kind of got stuck with this thing they can't walk away. Now that it's on Coinbase, now it's on Binance. I don't think anyone who's working on it is getting really any monetary benefit from it.
Doesn't seem like it, no.
Yeah, it's always screamed reluctance. I'm kind of not surprised that this has happened. And Shibarium, people have been waiting for this for a while. Ryoshi is supposed to launch his own stable token at some point. It's fucking wild that like you just fuck it up so bad.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard, from my understanding, to not make these mistakes. Like, these are very amateurish mistakes.
Right.
Which makes you wonder if they were even trying, or even had halfway decent coders behind it.
Let's see, down 12% in the last couple hours. Everything else, of course, Bone, Treat, and Leash, down double digits in percentages. Not great.
God, I hate to be someone that bought Leash when they were like $20,000 a piece or something like that, because I think now Leash is like $1,000.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
All-time bag holder right there.
Yeah, I mean, so many people are fucking underwater on these meme tokens that they're just really looking for anything.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, just anything. It's just anything so they're not fucking eating newspaper for dinner.
Yeah. Well, speaking of people that eat newspaper for dinner, our main topic this week, Brian, suggested by you, and I had completely forgotten about it, is the Landover Baptist Church. So the Landover Baptist Church website, which still exists and still looks just like it did in 1993, or close to it at least.
Wow, that takes me back to dial-up.
That's some real classy ass stuff. They laud themselves as God's favorite website. And one of their slogans, of course, guaranteeing salvation since 1620, where the worthwhile worship, unsaved, unwelcome. One might be forgiven for thinking this website is genuine, because it looks it. It looks like a hastily thrown together website for a church. It just does. And some of the articles are strictly out of, what the Christians believe about abortion. And it gives you, does life begin at conception? It runs through Genesis and tells you all about this stuff. An important thing to know, though, is that it is a parody of the Baptist Church, written by someone, a guy named Chris Harper, who went to Jerry Falwell's Liberty University. This was a guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about a pedigree.
So He went to Liberty University, Jerry Falwell's college, in 1989. And he had a radio show. It was a radio show that was a parody itself of Liberty University's practices and procedures. Lighthearted, fun entertainment, probably pretty clean, I would imagine. He got kicked out of Liberty University, expelled because of that show, because of that satirical radio show, expelled from Liberty University because the administration found it offensive. So that's when he created the Landover Baptist Church website. Fascinating, because like, wow, this is really just one guy being extremely fucking petty.
No, and I love it.
And he's kept it up for a while. I think the last post that I saw, June 26, 2022. I mean, it's been a year, but when the site started, 1998.
Yeah.
A lot of people online fail to realize that it is satire and parody because, A, it's pretty well written. It's a very convincing satire. Yeah. It's almost like I'm trying to remember what website, and I'm drawing a blank, but it's one of those ones where like the Dunning-Kruger Times or something where people, it's a satirical or it's a.
But it's obviously written by someone that has such a good understanding of the subject matter that they're satirizing or parodying that like it really
it cuts to the bone. You would really have to be looking close to see some of the bits here. But yeah, like there's an active forums. Yeah, here's from the What Christians Believe About Abortion. A question is posed: is murder wrong? Sometimes, when God orders us to murder, it is smiting. For example, the Bible clearly states that pregnant criminals should be executed. Genesis 38:24. About 3 months later, Judah was told, "Your daughter-in-law Tamar is guilty of prostitution, and as a result, she is now pregnant." Judah said, "Bring her out and have her burned to death." Well, all right. Yeah, if a man suspects his wife is cheating on him, she has to have an abortion. Note that this is not pro-choice, because this woman does not choose to murder her baby. Her husband chooses to have a priest murder the baby. I mean, it's a grim topic, but like,
yeah, he's
given you like chapter and verse about like, if you're going to be a biblical Christian, you got some fucking explaining to do.
You're going to have to really fucking ride or die for some wild ideas.
There's one of my favorite features of the site, of course, is the God's News Ticker. The end of the world and the rapture will be September 1st, 2023, according to God's News Ticker on this website. So I had a lot of time to edit this one down, I guess, before things go wrong. But
it's been nice knowing you, Jason.
Yeah, I know. One of the other things that Landover Baptist Church did that I really love is the fake newsletter Freehold, Truth, and Light. Very much the same kind of topics as the website itself, but then there are ads, and the ads to me are the highlight of the Freehold, Truth, and Light. Protect your manhole against unwanted access. Hole locks. You don't want it in there. Let's see here. Yeah, inside this issue, report a Mexican win a Chevy. Yeah, science and the races, an informative talk, and it shows the phrenology pictures. Yeah. A correction from a previous issue. The infant found by police in a trash can was, in fact, a burrito.
I feel like that's a reference to a real-life news story.
I don't know for sure. Another ad. Take a lifetime off from being ugly and black. Flint whitening soap, only $99.99.
Jesus.
Yeah. There's a photo of a guy from Guar. I believe that's Otis Arungus. English woman's encounter with Satan's minion. So Landover Baptist Church actually had one of the writers, one of the people involved in it, also went on to do Betty Bowers.
America's favorite Christian.
Thank you. Yes, Betty Bowers made her start with the Landover Baptist folks.
She's great. Her videos were very popular on my timeline on Facebook for a minute.
Oh, yeah. This one was the one I was looking for. Christmas special. Dogs, $10 each.
Oh, my dad's got to hear about this.
Buy a dog for someone at Christmas. They're filling the pound, and otherwise we have to shoot them. Call 1-800-DEAD-DOG. Yeah, would Jesus drive a V10, V12, or V8?
I feel like some of these jokes only really hit if you grew up in the church.
There's some inside baseball jokes in here.
Yeah, the weird trying to justify like modern society or modern accommodations or commodities through, well, God would be into it, or you think,
yeah.
well, if you don't like this, you're a Judas.
Here's the Zeke Media presents Casino Night. Pray you win, the fun way to pay your tithes. Oh, boy. Surprise baptism? A Noahide flood? You need Landover plumbers for a wholly good deal. Backed by God, no guarantee required. Call 1-800-2x2. Hey, yeah. So many on-point things. And the graphic design's kind of like it fits
feels
together.
chitsy.
It feels handmade by people who are true believers.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go to some godly design school.
They're mad. They're
ungodly.
mad at their kids for listening to Drake.
Yeah, they can't.
God's plan is you go to church on Sunday there. Baden?
Exactly right. Yeah, dinosaur found over 4,000 years old. Don't know what to get her for Christmas? Think how overwhelming arranging her funeral would be. Give her the perfect gift. Make arrangements as a couple with a Landover affordable funeral home. Call 1-800-JEHOVAH. And for her birthday, our will writing service. Just the psycho ads that appear and stuff like this, too. That's what I'm saying. That's what they nailed as well.
That's the money.
There's a style, and there's a very specific 90s, early 2000s vibe that this has. Just
I
all over
remember
it.
reading this website. I mean, in high school, I graduated high school in 2004, just to put it in perspective. But I remember having a group of friends in high school where we all probably had a moment where we commiserated about Landover Baptist because we grew up in the Midwest, and either if we weren't religious, we had religious family members or things like that. I think what always really resonated is with all of the stuff about like tithing or money, because it really just kind of gets into the crass soullessness of how churches siphon money from their flock and their and their congregation, and just like, maybe tax these motherfuckers.
Yeah. What's really wild about it is that there's actually like lore built up around the site. You remember this stuff?
A little bit.
About a town called Freehold, Iowa. Detailed online environment. Dictator called the pastor. Controlling members through a series of fines. This from a Pop Matters article entitled A User's Guide to Parody Religions. This article also includes, by the way, dudism. Invisible pink unicorns, a bunch of other stuff. I think Subgenius is mentioned here too. Jesus, as much a corporation as a church, the article continues. Landover is a self-contained, closed community, complete with its own mini mall and gun store. Its extensive holdings evoke the heyday of the televangelist era, when prosperity theology Americanized religion by marrying the Gospels to laissez-faire capitalism. And yeah, that's a pretty succinct way of putting it. It definitely has the Tammy Faye Baker style of send us money for Jesus kind of.
Oh, we got air condition our dog.
That's
dog
right.
house.
Well, and then, Righteous Gemstones is back on the air for a third season, and they're doing that
third
exactly.
season just wrapped up, my friend.
Oh, it did? Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. I can't wait to watch
good.
it.
It's I'm kind of trying to get my girlfriend to watch it. We watched the pilot episode. I don't know if it's got her hooked. It's hooks in her, but
Yeah, it took me 2 or 3 to get the hook on that one, just because introducing some of these people, like, these are fucking weird guys.
Adam Devine finds the right tone for his character. Danny McBride's way of pronouncing certain phrases is kind of amazing. There's in the second season, there's like one of the first episodes, he's trying to give like the talk to his kids, and he says something about the way he phrases a conversation about cum is just it's worthy of Shakespeare.
Much like It's Always Sunny, there's a moment where a certain character enters the show where it kicks off, just fucking everything goes nuts. And that's, of course, Walton Goggins' Uncle Baby Billy.
Uncle Baby Billy?
Oh, goddamn, son, you got
Goddamn, son, you are ugly as shit.
You don't want to shuck an old man's dick? Just what a fucking...
My weird nitpicking about things is that second season has Eric Andre as a mega preacher, a mega church preacher from Texas.
Yeah,
and
I don't buy it.
No, what I don't buy it is that they have him leading in song. I think the first time that he's introduced to the show, or at least introduced as to the characters on screen, he's not playing a PRS.
Fair.
A a fucking gaudy tent top, fucking Eagles inlay, perhaps even private reserve,
Sure.
PRS. That's a mega preacher, not a fucking Les Paul, not a Stratocaster.
You're right.
It's because as someone who used to sell guitars, that's all the fucking preachers that came in and bought guitars. They always had to get like the Brazilian, neck, the Brazilian rosewood neck, all of the fancy shit.
It just sounds better going to God that way.
Yeah. How are they gonna understand the word of God if I'm not playing a $10,000 guitar through a hand wired Vox AC30?
Exactly.
They could go get any religion anywhere else, but what I got is the Red Snapper Overdrive just sounds a little bit more organic than a Tube Screamer.
The last bit on the Landover Baptist Church site, every year they would do a report on their Hell House, which was based on a real thing that people do these Hell Houses.
Yeah, I went to a couple of Hell Houses and Boy Scouts out of all things.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was fucked.
Well, this article... Freehold, Iowa, October 1999. Landover Baptist Hell House is an outreach event that's... yada, yada, yada. Anyway, the headline's the real treat. Landover... flies in hundreds of corpses from Turkey's earthquake for this year's Halloween Hell House.
Amazing.
They represent the souls of the damned.
Beautiful.
Just fantastic stuff. Yeah.
They were Eastern Orthodox Christians, so
they do not count. Yeah.
I think they were going to hell anyways.
Right. Well, on that note, it's time for Shock.jpg, Brian.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
Oh boy, what we got today?
We've had a bit of a dog theme on the show. I've noticed episode titles, conversations we've had, things that we've talked about.
The mystery of the dog.
The mystery of the dog. Well, this.
What is a dog?
What? Who the fuck knows?
Is there anything faster?
Who the fuck knows? This is called Salad and Chips. It is it's a looping gif of a.
It sure is
of a dog.
Probably eating something out of a man's ass, and the man is semi-flaccid.
Just hanging out there.
He's a little turgid.
There used to be text on this site. I don't know what happened to it, but the text said, this salad it's not salty enough. Could use some chips. And hence the name of the site, saladandchips.com. So some of these ones are weird. Like every other dog themed shock image I found was like gory and like really not cool.
Yeah, I feel like you're really rolling a dice here where there was no
dog
roll
injury.
for initiative was not the move.
No, I rolled a nat 20 on that one, thank God, and
and that's only borderline bestiality.
Exactly. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unsettling, perhaps. I don't know. Just
It was like a yellow lab.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting because that's a dog that's going to do whatever you want it to do.
It's the Honda Civic of dogs, though.
The Civic of dogs.
I don't know where that came from, but yes, I'm sticking by it.
The Honda Civic of dogs. Amazing.
It's the one you think of. It's the default model, right? It's when you draw a car, you draw like...
My first car was a yellow lab.
The bumper sticker on the back said, "This bitch is barking.
This bitch is
don't come a narking or something." I don't know.
If the puppies fell off.
Oh,
I don't know.
If you read this, the puppies fell off.
I don't know. I mean, at least it's not pee pee poo poo.
It's not pee pee poo poo. There is a guy's wiener in it.
Might have got you on FBI list, but
yeah. But it's research. It's
research. Okay, there, Mr. Guy from the Who. I'm doing work on a documentary, which means consuming large amounts of this material.
Yeah.
Or Mr. LaCour from Twitter.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is to expose all the sex criminals. I'm going to post a bunch of child
put
porn.
my watermark on it so people know it came from
Put
me.
your watermark on it. That's not
what you're supposed. That's not the play, bro.
Because then they're gonna think you made it, you jackass. Oh boy.
Elon Musk, someone removes my child pornography fan cam account. Looking into this.
Troubling.
Wow, the woke mind virus really just can't handle outside thought.
Outsider art.
Outsider art.
That's the next defense. You know that. It's gonna be like. So that was the shock.jpg. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, of course.
The one we will forget.
Yes.
At least it's not the McChicken.
Yes. And I only had that loop for the dog going a couple times because I'm like,
Yeah, I really do appreciate that
We've
you
seen
didn't
it.
want to like have a whole entire like conversation about life
It's
with
just
me
going.
while it's in the background.
You're just getting in there.
It's like my body is a Kong filled with peanut butter, and you must eat of me, son, my dog's son.
That's the new religion. So
Yeah.
it's everybody's mom's favorite part of the show. Of course, it's the breath mint.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
I already told you about Paisley Park. I told you about a bunch of stuff that I did in Minneapolis. But the one thing we did when we get back was we immediately started season 2 of Reservation Dogs, keeping with the dog theme. Loving the cast there. Big fan of all the young native actors there. Fantastic stuff. The season 2 goes on. It just keeps getting funnier. It keeps getting raunchier and weirder, and everybody's having their own interpersonal squabbles, but you're also learning about them as characters, and it's funny and it's heartfelt, and it does all the right stuff. And I'm just like, yes. And you walked in here today, I went, ahoy hoy, because I've been watching this fucking show, and that's how everybody greets each other.
Well, I just think of The Simpsons and Mr. Burns. Ahoy hoy.
Yep. the spirit guide who the main character Bear sees all of it greets him like that, and so that was where I was kind of drawing from. I immediately just clicked it in my head. This, of course, the character who is in the Battle of Little Bighorn, but he didn't make it to the actual battle because his horse fell on him and he died.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
What a great character, because he just like randomly shows up and he's always eating. He's always eating something. Every time you see him, he's eating something. He's got a bag of chips, or he's got like he appears in a porta-john in one episode, and he's eating an apple while he's taking a shit. Like, just okay. Like what a fucking show. About you, Brian, what you been up to?
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
At the behest of my girlfriend, we watched the original Addams Family movie.
What did you think?
You know what? I think some really amazing performances on a script that was tainted by... It had to have been punched up by some idiot who only wrote for SNL. I think both Addams Family movies suffer from the same issue of like, this got punched up by someone that like Lorne Michaels, like, this guy's really funny.
Yeah. There's some gags where you're just like, that's a hat on a hat, man. This was already pretty funny. What are you doing? Raul Julia, though, wow, he's too handsome. He's too handsome to be Gomez.
He's just such a simp for his wife, and
we stand a simp king.
And
if you want a positive male role model, fucking Gomez Addams. You kidding me?
and I mean, there's still a lot that's really fun and delightful. I feel like making the fake Fester the real Fester it's even then that I hadn't watched the original movie probably in decades.
It kind of feels contrived, but fucking Christopher Lloyd is so good. So
He's having so much fun.
You can't be too mad at it because, like, he's a delight. What do you want? You know? I guess they could have had Christopher Lloyd show up as the real Fester and like duke it out with himself, but
yeah, I wish it didn't have like the SNL stink.
Yeah, and
I feel the same way about Addams Family Values. I think Addams Family Values is fantastic in so many ways, but there's just a couple scenes where it's just like, oh, someone felt that this needed to be more. And
some of Joan Cusack's lines in Addams Family Values, you're just kind of like, really? Did we need this?
But like all of the like sleepaway camp stuff is amazing.
Yes.
I'll play the victim.
Yeah,
you will your whole life.
Yeah. Christina Ricci, fucking even as a young child, understood the assignment.
So I rewatched that and I had a good time with it. My girlfriend had a good time with it. But we were talking about the original Saw movie. So that was on Prime. So we watched that because I don't think I've watched it since it was in theaters. Mm-hmm. And as I was describing it to my girlfriend, the movie theater that I saw it no longer exists, and the mall that it was in no longer exists. So
are we talking Jamestown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saw it in Jamestown. My friend Josh, who I have not spoken with since he dropped out of high school to watch TV, which is,
you know what? Good for him.
I think he was like one of those. He turned to one of those guys that lived at home with his parents, but would like make fun of you for having a job. And and you'd be like, motherfucker, you're in my car.
Yeah.
I think like the last time I hung out with him, I took him and his friend who I did not like to the Mills Mall so they could buy Neverwinter Nights 2 on PC. And like I'm just like, this sucks.
Yeah. Oh,
like
geez.
I like there's times where like I wouldn't mind driving my friends that don't have a car or have normal access to a car. Like, yeah, let's go hang out. But I was like, no, I was just very transparently used as a ride to facilitate the purchase of this video game.
Yeah.
There was really no like, well, we're going to hang out. And while we hang out,
yeah,
it would be cool if we could go to here and buy the game. It was more like, okay, well, we need to go back to the house now. And I'm like, okay, well,
thanks, I guess.
Yeah, but anyways.
Yeah. So you saw it at that theater.
At that theater with the guy who dropped out of high school to watch TV.
Truly, yeah.
And also like an absolute fucking pussy hound.
You got nothing else going on?
He would tell me stories about go getting his hair cut, and him being like 17 and like a 25-year-old woman who's hot being like, I think you're really cool, you should come hang out with my friends, and him being like, oh no, I'm kind of like, I don't want to like do my hair, and I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah,
it's like those things like, motherfucker, do you not understand?
Fumble the bag as hard as any man has ever done.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
Saw.
I feel like this is the only time we're going to be able to talk about this childhood friend. So I'm like, I just forget the
get
couple
in there,
stories out there.
Take care of it.
And so we never have to go back to this. So he doesn't have to become a reoccurring character.
Fair enough.
So Saw, boy, that is a incredibly uneven movie.
Yeah.
It almost goes not just like moment by moment or scene by scene, but almost like
within scenes,
within like camera cuts.
Oh,
it goes from being like a good movie to a bad movie.
Yeah.
Between jumps. I still think that the stuff with the two guys in the room and the weird, gross bathroom.
Yeah.
I think that works. I think having Jigsaw be the dead body in the middle of the room the whole entire time, I still think that still works.
Yeah. There's a lot that still works about it.
But boy, there's some stuff in there. It's just like feels very like daytime TV in a way.
Well, I mean, it was low budget. It was one of those things where they had to stretch for time a little bit, so they gave you, they had to pull back from that real tight in the room story to give you Michael Emerson kidnapping people, which went nowhere. Like I love Michael Emerson. Like I said, I'm rewatching Lost with the kids, and like every time I see him, like hiss the villain kind of style. Mm-hmm. But this was before he was on that. Relative unknown. He'd done a couple of bit parts on like Criminal Minds or something.
Yeah.
So I watched Saw recently because I bought, which at the time was all of the movies in one collection. And yeah, his appearance and then subsequent almost immediate death in the movie is like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
what did that have to do with anything?
The weird like blackmailed henchman is like, that's an interesting angle. And they don't really go anywhere with it because I guess they felt like maybe they weren't going to get to do a second movie.
Right. And he's never mentioned again.
Yeah.
I mean, almost from the second movie onwards, anyone who has ever been in one of these is either mentioned or shown again. Like you have some sort of Michael Emerson, never again. It's one and done, baby. Donald Glover too.
I do want to rewatch the second one just to see if that one holds up. I think that's the one I remember being like, oh, this is good. And then it was diminishing returns.
I think 2 and 3 were the peak of the series. I got to give it up for 2, especially the Pit of Needles that Amanda falls in. That horrified me and still does.
Oh, it's upsetting
because it just looks dirty. It looks
finding
filthy.
out that the actress that portrayed that character was actually afraid of needles.
Yes. It makes this scene.
And then finding out that they spent like all the PAs like removing all the needles out of the hypodermics, and then apparently someone like fucked up the last second and like knocked a bunch of needles into the pit. Jesus. That's how I understand the story, at least. But I rewatched that. I'm like, oh, you know what? That was fun. Like, I could probably go another 20 years without watching this again.
I don't know, man. Saw 10's coming out. You might have to catch up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude night. Let's go. Saw 10. Let's go.
Dude's night. Yeah, dude. Yeah, maybe. When's? Oh, yeah. It's coming out soon.
September.
I recently got to photograph a show, which was kind of last minute. But I ended up photographing the last performance of a very beloved indie band here in St. Louis known as So Many Dynamos.
So Many Dynamos, yeah.
The Dyna Bros. One of the first shows I ever photographed was their record release show for The Loud Wars, which was their record that was produced by Chris Walla.
Partially.
Well, it's like mostly like 75,
Okay.
like 80%.
Okay.
Like Ryan Wasoba on their Facebook page has for a while was going through and posting like these long
Right, because he's a producer now and he's a former member of the band.
Yeah, he actually like left the band before that record was released, but he has Bird Cloud Studios over in Collinsville, Illinois, and he's a really interesting guy. I've talked to him a few times. One of those people like, I don't know if he likes me or not.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I really want to know.
Hard to read.
I'm
Hard to read, fella.
Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins, Homer Simpson smiling politely.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep nodding.
By the way, just as a random aside, his TikTok channel is a pro click. I highly recommend it. He's funny as shit, and he's just got these really goofy observations that feel like, oh, okay, this is a guy I knew that like worked at a record store. I was like really knowledgeable about stuff, and he's just riffing on shit. He's really funny.
He's a fucking mad genius. But that was one of the mini shows at the Firebird where the AC just magically decided to break the day of show.
Oh boy!
I think there was a Smoking Pope show that happened.
I was at that one.
Boris in 2010 was one of those shows. A fantastic show. Holy shit, was it fucking hot! I think the Diabros show or the Diamo show might have been more intense because I specifically remember like people trying to like dance and groove were like slipping not just off the floor but like off of each other.
Oh,
like everyone was just like, it was like we were all like covered in Vaseline, and I'm like trying to take photos and all that, and I barely knew what I was doing because again it was one of the first shows I ever photographed. But like I specifically remember like when the show was over, people like lying up at the merch booths just to buy a shirt that wasn't covered in sweat. You know, just so gnarly. And I also have a very vivid memory of the frontman and main keyboardist Aaron like bringing his arm up to scratch like the back of his neck and like watching a trail of sweat shoot off of the edge of his elbow like a fucking like trick shot. I mean it looked like he was shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
Just here, let me see if I can wash that milk bottle.
Flick of the wrist.
Yeah, just insane. And he just a fucking gross, nasty show. But yeah, like I reached out to the drummer Norm, like, hey, I'm interested in photographing this show for the Arts STL, and he's like, oh yeah, we'll totally add you to like the recording, the like documentation personnel or some phrase like that. I'm like, okay, like I'll take that. And so, like I brought my girlfriend, and we get in there, and John from Bone Locomotive, the drummer, who you may know from playing in Volcanoes.
Oh, yes.
He like walked by and he noticed my MS Paint shirt. He's like, oh, nice shirt. He's like, oh shit, Souther. And like, like me and him talk for a couple of minutes, and I introduced him to my girlfriend and all that. But like he leaves, and she's just like, "Well, so is that guy an asshole?" I'm like, "No, he's a sweetheart." Like I think I'm like thinking to myself, like, I don't think this is gonna be an asshole show. And if someone is an asshole and they show up, I don't think they're gonna be an asshole because like that's not the vibe.
Yeah,
this isn't a bunch of guys like scowling at fucking Cherokee Street.
Yeah, so many Dynamo shows have always been more of a friendly, happy vibe.
Good vibes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bone Locomotive opened up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I haven't seen them in forever.
Yeah, it's weird because like Bo is the only original member from when I remember them, and it's a little different. It's a little bit more like summer vibe, like a little no wave maybe.
Yeah, they had a single that kind of blew up on TikTok for a while. The How Did You Get My Name?
Apparently it blew up.
Yeah.
How did you get my name?
Mm-hmm.
And they were great. They're just an amazingly solid band. Bo is a great guy, and the original drummer Stephen Colbert was in town for the So Many Dynamo show.
No relation.
Yeah, he's Steven Colbert.
Okay.
And he sat in on a second drum set and played with John for the song Heart. That was a great little moment. So Many Dynamos come on, and they start out with stuff from their 2015 release, Safe with Sounds, which was kind of like the last thing they ever came out with, I believe. That was kind of like the last iteration of the band that was out there. And they had Steve Inman from Blight Future, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah, Blight Future. So yeah, Steve Inman, Blight Future, was helping out on guitar. You had Aaron doing vocals, keyboards, bass.
Blight Future's last record, by the way, produced by Ryan Masoba at Bird Cloud.
How about that? Boy, isn't that convenient? So first iteration, coming out on the stage. Aaron on vocals, keyboards, synth bass, Norm on drums, and then Nathan on guitars, and then Steve Inman of Blight Future on the other guitar, which was kind of in a way like the last iteration of the band, and also with support from Kristen Dennis of Knee, Martha Murring, formerly of the River Kittens.
Oh wow!
And then two fellows from Funky Butt Brass Bands, Cody Henry and Adam Huck.
Oh, Adam Huck. Okay.
And maybe Ben Reese is also of Funky Butt Brass Band. One of those guys is on Funky Butt Brass Band. I'm seriously, my write-up's still not done. I'm hoping to have that done soon.
That's all right.
I'm kind of racking my brain. It's really hard when you have a job where you work like almost 50 hours a week, and then you have a podcast, and then you have a girlfriend, and then you try
also have to write.
Yeah. I miss being like fucking broke and working at Whole Foods sometimes.
Right, because you could do the little dumb shit that you're like
that like nurtures your soul
Yeah.
instead of doing the dumb shit that you need to do to like eat
feed.
bread.
Yeah.
Anyways, not that my girlfriend doesn't nurture my soul, but
There's a difference.
I miss
There's
a certain balance
There we
of
go.
things.
Yes.
That modern society does not let a wildflower like me enjoy all the time.
Indeed.
So that's the version that comes out for first 3 or 4 songs, and then Benjamin and Steve take a bow, and Ryan Wasoba comes out, and
okay.
Ryan Balu, who were the two other founding members of the band.
Yeah, they're the OGs.
I don't think Ryan's played with the band since like 2005 or 2006. Ryan Balu and Ryan Wasoba, as previously mentioned, quit the band like the month or like the day he says, I believe, that the Loud Wars came out. That's, I feel like, when everything really started to pick up, because they were playing stuff off their first EP, off their first record.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, it was very much a career retrospective of a show.
It was pretty impressive. Like they picked like all the right songs to play. I think there was a couple that like, oh, it would have been cool they played, but like what songs they didn't play, that territory was well covered by other selections. And so they kind of were talking about like there's 3 different eras that they're representing. They kind of did the new era, and now they're doing the middle era, and then the third era would end up being like, you know, Griffin K coming in, who joins the band after Ryan Wasoba left, and Ryan Wasoba never got to play these songs with the band live because he quit. So he was just having a fucking just blast. I was joking with fellow music photographer Dustin Winters after the set that like, man, it's gonna be really hard not having my photo gallery being a Ryan Wasoba like fan cam, because he was just having a blast. Just really.
Oh, when someone's feeling it, you really can see
it. Was
it.
very. You could tell it was very cathartic, and people are just losing their fucking minds. People are just in the zone. I remember when local shows used to feel like this all the time.
Yeah.
Like that was like the part that kind of fucked with me. Like there used to be like at least one local show like a month, if not every other week in St. Louis, that had like this, like, oh, it's going to be a fucking shindig. It's going to be the fucking function.
Yeah.
And since I've come back into photographing live music, I think this is the first local show that's given me that vibe. Like I've gone to a lot of stuff where like it kind of felt like it was supposed to be like, oh, this is brilliance and obscurity or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I think we discussed before that St. Louis has this weird chip on its shoulder that if people actually show up to your show, that's bad.
Which always pissed me off, because I'm like, no, seriously, I want people to the show, though. Like, come to the show.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you how many times, like, you know, at the Firebird, they would put a band on to like open up this show where like a band that didn't, like True Widow or something, that didn't have like a really good following here yet, or like any following, like, well, we kind of need you to bring some people, and like they bring their family and they like leave before the headliner plays. And so I mean, I've seen like Cerebral Ballsy, True Widow, I remember seeing those bands that ended up having great fucking hype at that time and afterwards, played St. Louis to like the bar staff and like Mo.
Yeah.
Like Mo from the band I can't remember the name of, but his drummer was always in jail. You know who I'm talking about.
I know you know. I can't remember their name either.
I can't. Jeez.
Clearly,
but
just too old.
But it was really fucking fun. People were going the fuck off. Like,
I love it. I love when a show goes like that.
The vibes were
good.
just so immaculate. And for like the last era, they bring Griffin out, and then Steve starts coming out, and then they bring the backup vocalists and a couple other people. I mean, I think at one point there was like 14 musicians on stage.
Yes.
It was like a fucking to do. And I'm like watching the last bit from basically the soundboard, and I was just taking my wide shots.
Because they had the
Fucking
big banner
insane.
in the background.
It was
and all that,
18 and Counting did the banner. I think he helped out with the lighting. Yeah, it was just like fucking insane. Like I remember like, I remember when like local bands used to really
do this.
put their ass into it. It was awesome. Like it was like they ended out with Search Party, which everyone loves that song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was like a thing that also kind of hit me while photographing this performance was, and this is at Del Mar Hall, which is an 800 cap room.
Nice big long room, lot of great sight lines.
It's like, what if Mississippi Nights were 200% harder to get around in when there's more than 300 people? Because the way they stagger those ramps, why couldn't you just make them straight?
I don't know.
That is every single time I go there. I love the room.
Yeah,
like that's the one thing I always bitch about is like you can't walk from the dance floor to the bar without. You can't do it easily.
No,
it's a fucking pain in the ass.
It's a whole thing.
So to understand, folks, if you're facing from the stage to the back of the room, the dance floor, the first level, is fine.
Yeah,
and you have your cement ramps to go to the second level. And
which
you're
is
like,
kind
cool.
of a thing. You know, it's an accessibility deal.
Sure.
Or whatever,
Yeah. And but then if you want to get to the back ramp to the back
which
platform,
is where the back bar is,
you have to like shift over like 5 feet.
Yeah,
inward.
it's offset in this weird way, and from the stage it looks weird, and from the audience, you're like, oh, it should just continue straight from here. Nope, I got to navigate around these people that are like standing by.
Because if it was just straight, you just keep moving forward. But now you got to like stop,
right?
And you got to like bother some motherfuckers.
Yeah. Resident Evil control style. You have to turn your body.
Yeah. You got fucking tank controls. And again, Del Mar Hall is a lovely room, but
great room.
But every single time I go there, that
baffles
always
me. Yeah. I'm gonna go see Jeff Rosenstock there in September. So
I'm gonna be at that show too.
Right
I
on.
believe maybe he'll spray paint my butthole.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Chrome
chrome
Witness
spray.
me. Witness me.
You shall shit shiny in chrome. And I'm gonna play a song about jerking off the RoboCop or whatever.
Perfect. I love it.
Anyways, watching everyone come out, play these last couple songs, I was like, man, fuck, this is nice. I'm never going to see this band again. Fuck me.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. It's like, this fucking rules. Shit, this is never happening again, is it?
And that's fine. I mean, they left on a high note. I mean,
yeah.
how many great local St. Louis bands either never play the final show or they play the final show and it was really just like
sad.
Yeah, it was like sad, and maybe like you could tell that like the fucking bass player is getting his ass beat when he's getting his fucking shit from the drummer's house.
I've been on stage for 2 of those. I've had it both ways. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you've lived a life.
So many Dynamos. What a great show.
So many Dynamos. What a great little band. What a bunch of great dudes. Finished my edits, and now I'm doing my write up, and realize I write so slow.
Yeah.
And I'm very meticulous.
Yeah.
Which isn't great because I don't think I'm always that great of a writer.
Well, I mean, you sent this to me, and I'm really a big fan of this because I mean, this is pretty concise. I'm not really sure to where to begin, and that's how you open it. And like, yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, there's
I think like Stereo Gum maybe described them as a post everything band, which yeah. But I mean, you can read it off. Fucking stroke when you go here.
They started back in 2003 in a St. Louis suburb as a catchy Midwestern emo rock outfit, and by the mid-2010s had become something of an electro-indie group with some surprisingly complex grooves and compositions. Their only big label release, 2009's The Loud Wars, was mostly produced by Death Cab for Cutie's Chris Walla, which was then unceremoniously massacred by a Pitchfork review written by someone who thought they were at least as clever as Buddy Head co-founder Travis Keller when it came to talking shit on someone else's art, but To put it politely, they sure fucking weren't. At that time, people would have played with room temperature mercury barehanded in traffic if pitchforks said it were cool, so it is kind of a small miracle that so many dynamos didn't break up and instead decided to keep honing their craft. There is not an ounce of fat on that paragraph. Don't doubt yourself, brother. I'm telling you.
So I hope these motherfuckers don't pull like a super fun rocket ship and make like, oh, we're really doing it, and then be like, not really.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
I know, but like that is the fear of every time a local band that
you're doing the Black Sabbath thing with every tour is the final tour.
Yeah, or Kiss, really.
I know. God damn. I still want to see him, though, so.
Gosh, I went to high school with a guy at Lou Gehrig's.
Jesus.
Oh, God, I'll tell this story because I don't know. Next time we'll be talking about Kiss and final tours. He had Lou Gehrig's disease. He was a big, pudgy ginger dude. Big old fat legs. He had Lou Gehrig's.
Wait, how old was he that he had ALS? That's fucked up.
We're talking high school.
Yeah,
so
Jesus.
Not even 18.
God damn.
But he would just like tell really fucking. He always was wearing like a Kiss like final tour T-shirt. And at
new
this
one
point,
every
there
time.
was one point where I was just like, I was like, man, this is like the third time they did like a final tour, man. I feel like they're kind of like taking advantage of their fan base. And he's just like, I don't know, man, this shit's pretty cool. And he would just tell all these really. He was very much. Looking back now, I have a lot of empathy for this guy.
Yeah,
I imagine like now I have a bigger picture of what he could have possibly been going through. For me, he was just like this guy who was really into Kiss, which was in a way that was really weird for people
Teenagers.
our age.
Yeah.
Well, there were like guys that were in the Kiss at our high school, but like they played guitar, and this guy,
okay, that kind of
stuff. Like they were kind of like old school rockers. Like this guy just seemed like a normal ass dude, except he really loved Kiss, and he had Lou Gehrig's in high school. He would tell all these stories about like this girlfriend who doesn't go to high school here, and about like
the Canadian girlfriend who's shy, but she's a model.
Yeah, I don't think he blew up that much, but he's always like, yeah, I got a girlfriend, and like we like doing like her mom bought us some beer, and we were like driving around with like Mo Bottoms and got fucked up, and like all the stuff that was like, man, if half of this is true, like I'd be amazed.
Yeah.
And there was another guy that I had in this class with him. Whose name was Chris, and Chris one day like just kind of lost it, like listening to his bullshit, because Chris was just like wanting to do classwork, like he just didn't like the class, like I just want to get through this,
right?
And I remember one day I'm talking with Chris at like I think we had another class, or maybe we were talking in the hallway or talking after school, and he's just going like, man, that fucking guy in that one class. I go, yeah. He's just like, all of a sudden goes, yeah, so me and my girlfriend, we were driving in a car, and then we crashed the car into a strip club, and Gene Simmons was there, and Gene Simmons sucked my dick, and then the cops came to arrest me because I crashed my car, but then they saw that Gene Simmons was giving me dick, sucking my dick, and then the cops started sucking me off too, and then my girlfriend let me finger bang her. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what that guy's like. And so I every once in a while, like someone will tell a rambling ass story, and I'm like, at what part did Gene Simmons suck you off? And like, what?
At what point?
What point when we get to the part where Gene Simmons sucks you? Get to the part where Gene Simmons fucking.
Let's go.
He shows it to you on his big tongue before he swallows it. Called the demon.
Oh boy.
Fuck me.
Lick it up. All right. So
you can
Sutter. Yeah, every once in a while I will say your name to the
that's funny. When I worked at Guitar Center.
Oh, sure.
As a young man, I had a reputation for being kind of a witless pussy magnet. Coming at me, didn't know what to do with it because I was scared of everyone because I had a very bad time in high school.
Yeah.
And so, like, there was a girl that worked at the Bread Co. down the street on the Rock Road that, would write her phone number on my food. And she was cute, and it took her doing it like 3 or 4 times. I had to say it to a coworker, and he's like, yeah, I think that girl wants to fuck you. And like the girl with the pink hair and like all the piercings go, yeah, that girl wants to fuck you, Brian. Like, you should.
And you went,
okay, sick. I thought it was just like a ruse to like beat me up and like, take my wallet.
Hey, why not both?
And it turns out, yes, that girl did want to fuck me.
Fantastic.
But it became, I was like the youngest guy there, and even though I worked with some people that I didn't really enjoy, they did like the fact that I was this bumbling idiot like shy weirdo that like women just wanted to talk to, and I just didn't know what to do with it. But yes, there were so many times that I would come in after like going on a date with some girl, and like someone would pick up a guitar at the guitar desk and like da 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 Strata. But because my last name is Sutter.
Yep.
You see, here's a funny little thing here, man. You don't know me like this, but you can just add a little L there.
Oh, Slutter. Oh. See,
Yeah.
I would have just sung it Sutter.
But no, it just became Slur. Yeah, no, I mean, there was a point in my life where there were people that just called me Slutter, and it was really, really weird sometimes. And now I look at it back as a really weird thing for like dudes that are like 26 to be saying to a 19-year-old guy.
Fair.
Is
Yeah.
like
It's a
encouraged.
little odd. Yeah.
It's a little weird, but I mean, Strutter's probably like the best Kiss song.
I would argue that it's "I Was Made for Loving You," but that's a whole nother
Discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like you're trying to get a little sloppy toppy from the demon.
"Lick It Up" is also a good song. I gotta tell you. Anyway, speaking of getting sloppy toppy from demons,
where can they harass you, Jason?
no, actually, I have one more thing for the breath mint, and we'll make it quick.
Oh wow.
So I finished Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I've been in a bit of a game slump. Didn't know what to play. So I've been kind of going through shit that I bought but forgot about. One of which was Steel Rising. Steel Rising turns out pretty great game. A little short. French Revolution, but you're a robot, and it's also Soulsy, and there's kind of some cool stuff happening. Multiple side quests have you interacting with Robespierre, so that's nice. Some actual French history kind of woven into this alternate history game. Kind of neat. You get to learn about the Estates Générales, all that cool stuff. So that was nice, but it was short. So then I was like, okay, now what? So then I started picking up stuff like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is okay. Again, short game. It's Borderlands, but with a D&D setting. Kind of all right. And the charm and wit of it is Andy Samberg, and I swear it's Wanda Sykes, but I don't know if it's actually Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes.
Okay. As your two other players.
Oh, an actual black woman, so Tiny Tina doesn't have to be racist.
Correct. And so that definitely kind of eased it was a bit of a salve on that particular issue. But again, short game.
I still remember the guy that got chased off Twitter because he was like, Tiny Tina seems like a little racist.
Yeah, it was not a great time. But he was right. So and they've kind of toned that down, thankfully. Ashley Birch still does the voice, and it's really fun. And then I started, based on previous guest thought, Slime's recommendation of Vampire Survivors. That's another one where it's like, okay.
You just now started playing the Vampire Survivors.
I've
been like talking about this for like the better part of a year.
I understand that. I picked it up because it was cheap.
It's always been cheap.
I understand that. I picked it up because it was cheap. I picked up the DLC too, and then I just kind of forgot about it. Okay. That's the thing. I got so many games in the Steam library. It's like Vampire Survivors was in the V's, so it was down at the Anyway, so I've been kind of digging that, but the one that really hooked me was something you talked about, which was High on Life. Got it in a bundle with Journey to the Savage Planet. Humble Bundle, I think, still has it.
I didn't talk about High on Life because I thought it was good.
You enjoyed what little you played of it.
I was basically, I don't need any more of this. Me and my girl, I was like, seeing like this is something me and my girlfriend could play together. After one night, we're like, I don't know if I need to keep going.
Yeah, I'm kind of there, but I did like the fact that they had some of the Smiling Friends guys do voices. So that was kind of neat. But yeah, it's that same like, how much more of this can I take? So I'm still on the hunt for the next big thing. It might be the Alan Wake.
Michael Cusack, I think the guy's name is. Like, he's fantastic.
And then the guy whose Oni plays on YouTube, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But I'm still on the hunt for the next one. I think it might be the Alan Wake remake. I got that.
That's
really
out.
like the original. The Alan Wake remake, I'm very hyped about. I love Remedy games. Anything they put out, I will be there for it because I'm getting hyped for Alan Wake 2, which is coming out soon. But I mean, from Max.
So is the remake out?
The remake is out.
Oh, wow. No one's talking about it.
There really aren't. Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people were talking about the original. So
yeah, I mean, I remember playing the original and thinking it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Remake's got a lot of good things going for it. Some real good quality of life improvements, a little graphical upgrade, yada yada.
Okay, I'll take a look into that.
But some of the goofier stuff about the control schemes is kind of smoothed over here, so I'm really happy about that. But I can't. Control 2, that's what I'm really waiting for. The Control DLC was not long enough. I needed more. I need more Control.
I'm waiting for Armored Core.
Armored Core 6, yes. Fires of the Rubicon. That's coming out a couple days after my birthday, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to pick that up.
I'm debating if I want to pick it up for Xbox or for Steam.
Ooh, that's a good. I mean, depends on what your rig's like.
I mean, I just upgraded my rig. I don't
True.
have anything to.
Yeah, I don't know. Armored Core games have always felt like controller based to me because I've always played them.
Well,
on
I mean, I'd be
PlayStation
playing with a PS4 controller or something.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah. I mean, it's really dealer's choice at that point.
But I also don't have my PC connected to my TV.
That might be the deal breaker then, because
Do I want to be lazy on the futon, or do I want to be
lazy in a desk chair? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Razer. I do.
Do you have it?
I do have a. I do have a Razer gaming chair.
Hell yeah!
Well, I wanted to buy a new chair, and I had a little bit extra money. Like, I want to get a nice chair that's gonna last forever. And but my budget was like $500-ish, and it really didn't go further than like a Razer gaming chair, like maybe a Secret Labs, But
even then,
well, it's like one of those things. It's like buying a coffee grinder. You can either buy a $100 coffee grinder or a $500 coffee grinder.
Yeah, there's no middle ground. It's
because anything below than that's going to be bullshit.
Right. Well, if you have recommendations for gaming chairs,
yeah, geez, you got like my dude over here is sweating it out.
Oh, you talking about my setup here?
Yeah.
Oh well, that
you got
this was a bar stool.
You got a cabinet you stole from someone's Airbnb to use for a desk.
It works. What are you talking about?
I don't know. It looks like you bang your knee on it a lot.
Every once in a while, I will. Every once in a while, I will. Yeah.
It seems like.
No, but the thing I like about it is it's actually got like real drawers.
Oh, like the real
stuff.
drawers are good. Yeah,
big thing, and it can fit the subwoofer for the entertainment system. So that's nice. It's
and
high enough.
Your dog's ashes and whatever else you put on that part of the cabinet.
Yes, I do have a bar stool, and I am sitting at basically what is a repurposed armoire or an end table that I have all of our
equipment on. It's like what my
on.
grandmother put like Halloween decorations on in the living room.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. But I mean,
it works.
It works. If you have recommendations, let me know at Video Crime on Twitter. You can also hit me up on Blue Sky and various other places as Video Crime. You can do Instagram, TikTok. I'm at LaserGoose CEO. Brian, where can they find you and tell you about their optimized desk setups?
Yeah, show me all the fucking little weird LED shit you have the strips you have going behind your desk to make everything look cool and like.
I saw a tweet that was like, "My shitty dog has climbed into my gaming PC." And then I realized, oh wait, this is translating from German, so it was like "Ein meine Shiba Hound." Like Shiba Hound sounds fucking badass.
Shiba.
My shitty dog. Is if you have pictures of your shitty dog climbing into your gaming PC, Brian, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky, which I keep forgetting about.
Me too.
As Ishaki Dibord, that's ISHOTGUIDBORD. If you want to check out my music photography, my portfolio is assholemusicphotographer.com. If you want to check out some photos with words, it's amusicphotographer.com. I have not updated anything on there since Melanie Martinez. I'm hoping this weekend I can find some time to write about some other things and make some other posts. Fingers fucking crossed.
Double cross them all.
Head over to the Arts STL to take a look at my So Many Dymos photos and write-up.
So good.
Should be up by the time this episode goes live, and there is lots of other good stuff there written by other talented folks. There's a nice little write-up of Ween playing at St. Louis Music Park last week.
Oh wow!
Some other stuff there. I mean, check out, but it's a good class of kids I'm in over there. So you go support the.
So it's the THE Arts.
The Arts STL. Yeah,
2 S's. Arts STL.
Yes,
Arts.
Okay.
Arts
STL.
Got it.
Yeah, because the fucking Riff for Time sure shit ain't right about anything.
Well, that's a story for another time, I think.
Yes, it is. Anyways, continue with the pluggables, my good man.
Indeed, you can give us a call, 314-246-9766. That's 314-AHOY Poo, if you'd like to spell with your telephone. You can shoot us an email, Jason at 48minutesofdogsbarking.com or Brian with a Y at 48minutesofdogsbarking.com. You can also support the show, patreon.com/48minutesofdogs, if you so want to do that thing. And so what I've been doing on the Patreon is I've been putting up the episodes. We release Wednesday mornings is our normal schedule, and I've been putting up episodes as soon as they're done editing, about like 10 or 11 p.m. on the Tuesday night. So if you're a Patreon, you'll get a little early access, as it were. Patrons only. So.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, a couple hours early.
I was going to say, if y'all keep subscribing to the Patreon, I'm sure Jason will start uploading all the racist stuff we take out.
Just in one long, unbroken chain.
Oh, no, we got to milk it.
Yeah? Just a couple minutes at a time? Okay, we'll work on that. We're going to leave you a little...
Today we're taking all the stuff I've said about Bosnians. Next week is going to be everything I said about Italians.
The anti-Serbian supercut is coming to the...
Milosevic did nothing wrong!
So we're going to leave you a little music. A group called Damaged Bug. Brian, you know these guys, Damaged Bug?
I'm not familiar.
It's one of the guys from the OCs.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm into this.
Little side project of theirs. Damaged Bug, great record. A song from it called Cough Pills. Always love this tune. But as we always say at this time, namaste. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye.